I'll give some activity or recording later or sa next na meeting na to para ma-cover na to ang big discussions on regarding the substations. So this is very similar to the other slides sa ato class. Basically, this talks about the substations. According to some magazine in the IEEE, the Power and Energy Society, substation is the heart and brain of the energy systems. Heart because that's where the power comes, or the conversion of power, and brain, most of the controls are in the substations. So when we talk about substation, it's typically assemblage for electrical components that basically form the links between the power system, from generation to transmission, and transmission to sub-transmission, and sub-transmission to distributions. So basically, essential siyang connections sa system para fully energize ang energy systems. So the electrical power passes through this substation for the purpose of one, switching, another one is for transforming the voltage. So why we need to transform the voltage? So that's the basic idea is during the transmission we need to have a very high voltage so that the current flowing on those lines are very low. So kung siyang gamit pa ng power loss during the transmission. Transmission ng load, dagko siyang distances, no? And then we go down at each of the connection points sa distribution, we step down sa voltage para qualified na po siya sa distribution level na voltage, no? And then ma-distribute siya. Still, need po ng high voltage or medium to high voltage sa distribution para sa mamales ang iyang power loss. Then, we have four types of the substations, no? Transmission, switching, distribution, and combinations. So, for a typical transmission system or substations, the voltage rated from generation 3.3, 6.6, 11, 33 kV will be stepped up to the transmission level high voltage, which is around 69 kV, 138 kV, 169, 230, and on large systems is 345 kV. Mindanao has 230 and 138 kV and 69 kV. Visayas has 230, 130, 69. Luzon only has the 500 kV. Nasa backbone ng 500 kV dito sa Metro Manila na traverse. Then, uncommon na voltage wheel. Luzon also has the 115 kV. I don't know asa siya makita, pero makita ninyo sa transmission development plan asa pag-traverse ng 150. Naka-color code sila. So, in Philippines, naniyan ginagamit na ito. Wala tayo 345, 765 lang. So, si transmission is a transmission substations connection from generation to transmission. Connection point bali ni connecting point ni generations, no? And it disconnect the switch on both the sources and the load side permits isolation during the maintenance. Whereas the switching substation, so makita niyo na yung substation na transformer si transmission, no? Transmission substations. Si switching substations, it could be wala siya or wala gid siya transmission, no? Basically, iyang i-provide is flexibility and interconnection sa system, no? It's a combination of switching and controlled equipment to provide circuit protection and switching flexibility, transfer of loads or reconfiguration sa transmission system. Basically operates at a single voltage since there's no transmission transformer found in these substations. And the distribution substations are stepping down from the subtrans level to distribution voltage level. So the typical or the usual voltage used for the primary side of the distribution system is 12.4, 7 line to line, and 7.2 line to neutral. 13.2 line to line, 7.6 line to neutral. 13.8, this is the usual. Sipalco is 34.5, and some ECs as 13.8 and 8 line to neutral. So parang common na to. So the power transformer commonly used in these applications are a two-winding stay, no? It could be a single phase or three-phase units. And this is the typical picture of the distribution substation or diagram from sub-trans circuit to the distribution circuits. Now there are different configurations of the substations because basically we treat substation as the heart and brain of the energy system. Should be protected or should be well designed infrastructure. No? So depende sa yung requirement, reliability requirement, we also have design, appropriate designs sa kanang requirement. These are the commonly used substations: single bus, double breaker, main and transfer bus, double bus, single breaker, ring bus, and the most common is nowadays is the breaker and a half. These are the schemes that can be used to construct the substations. No? When you say a single bus, you have the common bus here in the center, and then the incoming circuit would be, let's say, this is a typical distribution substation. The incoming circuit from the subtrans level, this one is for the primary feeders or primary line distribution. So, advantage is low cost, land area is very small, and, but the disadvantage is least reliable, failure to the main bus of the circuit was the outage of the whole. No? And for scheduled, there are two types of shutdowns or power interruptions: scheduled or maintenance purposes, or unscheduled, meaning failure or meaning contingency. No? So kung scheduled maintenance, the whole system will be de-energized for that. And the most reliable configuration for a substation is double bus, double breaker. You have two bus at each side, and the incoming circuits are the, let's say, this subtrans, no? And then these are the outgoing mga feeders sa substation na to. So in that way, this is the most reliable, and because na siya ay backup. So one of the breakers siguro is common normally open, and the other one is normally closed. And the maintenance of each bus could be done without interrupting the flow of the current or the energy, and the flexibility operating options is added, additional lines are added. But the disadvantage in this configuration is high cost because of additional breakers and larger area requirement. So this one usually construct ni siya sa mga bulk na power transmission or generation, because we can't afford na mo shutdown si generator, dapat naka full redundancy si substation nato dira. So for example, if they see dapat ng siya capacity, so more likely naka double bus, double breaker ang ilang substation. The other option for double bus, double breaker is the main and transfer bus. So one bus is served as the main bus, and then the other one is a backup, is a transfer. But there's no protection inside sa transfer bus because wala na tayong makita na circuit breaker. No? So this one is the reasonable cost at fairly small land area, expandable, and the maintenance is required. The power is still on, and the original breaker is isolated from the system. However, the disadvantage in this configuration, it's moderate reliability. So, ganiya si single bus is low reliability. Si double bus, double breaker, high reliability, and this one is the moderate. So, level of reliability requirement na natin. Then, additional circuit breaker needed for the bus, for the tie, for the transfer and the main bus. For example, if you have the connection between the main bus and the transfer bus is necessary because of to provide flexibility, no? And the bus fault causes the loss of the entire substation. Double bus, single breaker. So unlike the double bus, double breaker, at each of the incoming or outgoing circuit, naadri ang iyahang circuit breakers. Sa double bus, single breaker, at before siya mo enter sa connection point between sa buses, naran siya yung circuit breakers. So 1:1 ang imong connection circuit ani. Kung nakay incoming circuit or outgoing circuit, nakay equivalent 1 circuit breaker. Circuits may be operated from either bus by means of the switch. And in the event of a breaker failure, as long as it's not on the bus or bus fault, the entire station is not shut down. The disadvantage is there will be a net additional circuit breakers needed. No? Thus, it needs a higher cost. And still, the interruption may occur to a non-faulted circuits. Bus faults are common mong siya kung mga diri sa sa connection na to, sa substation. The ring bus is arranged in a circular manner, and there will be a tie at each bus. So multiple bus and naka-mesh. This one is very good at the high reliability siya, but again, ang iyang consequence is the potential of investment. And the winning configuration or the most appropriate configuration for a distribution substation is a breaker and a half. Why breaker and a half? So basically, for every circuit, incoming or outgoing, it requires 1.5 breakers. Diba? Sa kining tulo ka connection, duha ka circuit, ang ratio niya is tulo ka circuit breakers. So breaker and a half ang tawag niya. Why is it that this one is the good design for a distribution substation? Provide a high reliable and flexible operation, and it could easily be expanded. No? Any breaker can be removed without the outage of any circuit, and fault on either bus can be isolated. And if the center breaker fails, then the two adjacent circuit lost. But if outside breaker fails, one circuit lost. No? But the disadvantage is mild lang or moderate lang niya ang cost because it requires a 1.5 breaker, and the relaying it's more challenging. Relay is like a brain, no? It's fire protection system. In summary, this is the comparisons of the different configuration of the substations. Single bus provide the least reliability, but it also requires a least cost, no? And a least area. However, in the other side of the table, double bus double breaker provides the highest reliability, but the consequence, it has a highest relative cost because it duplicates the components, and the available area requires a great area. No? On the middle of this single bus and double breaker is the breaker or naman but we require the highest reliability, no, sa tuwang distribution, since Philippines, for example, we're only allowed to have is one distribution supplier of electricity every franchise area. Dili pwede nga mag-compete si Sipalco na magtukod mo daw Cagayan Electric nga lahi doble linya. Dili mo siya pwede competitive ang distribution because of the resources, no? So every area isa ra gid na service provider. So meaning to say distribution substation na to requires the highest reliability as much as possible, no? Because we only have the one service provider, and in that way, ang iyang cost and available area should be require more likely a moderate level of the cost and area. Whereas in double bus double breaker, this is most likely ina-implement dito sa mga most crucial na parts of the system or in the transmission substations. And there are also substations that is configured or constructed in a multi-level substation. Meaning to say, siya ay isa sa substation but na siya portion na receive siya of power from the generation, or meaning dollar siya sa generation. At the same time, provide po siya of shortcut niyang si transmission, generation to distribution. So, nani ang itsura. From the transmission, sulod ta sa double bus double breaker, then transformer na yung truck, and this one is for the breaker and a half configuration. So why is it a multi-level substation setup? Let's say these transmission lines are crucial assets that serves the generation's capacity, no? So dire na sila mosulod. Then kini, since ang bulk power mosulod dire, this one requires the highest reliability. So double bus double breaker itong i-construct dire. Na dili kita kung dili na to ma-afford nga mo shutdown ni nga substation or mawala ni nga mga capacities. So dapat double bus double breaker. Then dire natay transformer step down voltage transformer, and you can have breaker and a half configuration here for distribution of the power, no, in the distribution feeders. So na single substation nanay light na configuration. Kirahon, for example, dara sa Villanueva, Kirahon substation, naisulod dara si solar, Kirahon solar, si Balingasag na coal-fired power plant, dara gyapon siya isulod. At the same time, provide po siya of power sa area niya. No? So, that's how the flexibility of the substations. No? I don't know, sa inyong field trip, na ba may surupan niya po rin? Dito mo sa Cebu, no? Wala na rin sa area. Siguro sa Beko, maka-recognize naman sa breaker niya. Okay, I think most of the mga 15 or 10 years ago na constructed yung mga substations, they are already in a configuration of a breaker niya. Or I think most of the substations are already in the breaker niya schemes. Now let's go back to what are the important equipment inside of the substations or the assets. We have the transformer, the heart of the substation. We have the circuit breaker. This is the protection for the power transformer. No? Because the power transformer is the most costly asset. So you have to protect that for every fault currents na dapat dili siya masunod. We have the capacitor banks. Some of the substations already have the capacitor banks to provide the GAVA requirement. For example, if it serves in an industrial areas. We're also common that one kining mga disconnecting switch or DS or grounding switch. This one is to provide isolations of the incoming lines. Instrument transformers, basically the CT and the EP, current transformer and the potential transformer. So, because the substation operates at the highest voltage and high currents, no? We need to monitor that one. Saan siya pag-monitor? Kailangan tawag CTPT para ma-reduce siya to a readable na voltage and current level sa mga measurement device, like for example, relays. So, diretso nga si 13.8 atong i-measure diretso sa kang relay. Kailangan nato siya i-transform first in an instrument transformer. There are a lot of ang tawag nila is transducers. No? Instrument transformers, the common one is CTPT. Aside from that, dapat other na mga measurement device na makita sa substations. You can ask that kung may mag-site visit na mo para ma-recognize niyo. When you say transducers, those are some of the sensors that can be found. No? Like for example, how do we monitor the frequency also of the substations? The frequency, the ground currents, electromagnetic, chemical, acoustic, and thermal. No? So one of the another equipments that can be found in the substations are these carrier equipments. This is particularly for line traps. These are for high frequency blocking para di siya masulod sa substation. Most of the mga substation na naman tayo mga substation automation sa distribution system. So most likely lang substation na communicate na siya ito fiber optics. Conventional na method pag automate sa substations are using the power line carriers na to i-embed fiber optics sa ground wires sa substation to substation. Substation mga dang pinakadali or maihap ra nga assets ni distribution system na ma-afford lang niya po to monitor because those are crucial na mga assets. So that's why substation automation could be established already na sa most of the distribution system. So, ang line traps, since naman tayo mga ride-through ng mga high frequency carriers, pwede ma-capture na siya sa atong line traps before sa atong para dili siya mosulod sa atong substations. Another one is the capacitance coupled voltage transformer or CCVT. Combination of the line traps and filter for high frequency. This is for the communications signals na dili siya mo naka-ride through sa atong power frequency, which is 60 Hz. Switching substations device includes also the circuit breakers, which detects faults, bypass switches, provide connections manually or by remote. But bypass switches, dili gini sila makaka-capture ng mga fault currents. Then switch gears. It's a combination of electrical disconnects, fuses, and circuit breakers. This is our use for to isolate equipment on. That's what we call the switch gears. Transformer, balik ka na eh. Dapat mga usay substation ng mga voltage regulators. Kini muragi hunatan nila ang sa substation head. Patas na daan ang or na siya voltage regulation on the feeder head pa lang daan. Reclosers, still nagya po niya siya sa substation. Surge arresters, ganing mga surge currents due to lightning storms or kanang kidlat mo mo still even nga natay mga surge protection devices mo induce gyapon na siya ang voltahe sa tong linya which could damage sa tuwang mga assets sa substations. So that's why we need also the surge arresters, no? Shunt capacitor banks. And then the part of this these slides is all about substation optimization. So again, substation is the most crucial assets in distribution system. So that's why it needs to be monitored, controlled. So that's substation optimization is the pinaka-first na pwede nila i-implement to optimize the operation. No? And in automating the substation, they use the Intelligent Electronic Devices or IEDs to provide enhanced integrated coordinated monitoring and control capabilities. And in the automation sa substation, natay hierarchy sa ilang levels of substation integration and automation. The utility enterprise or the distribution management system should be the head of the most top control niya. And the substation automation applications, the IED integrations on the ground level, on the substation level, the implementation, and then the power system integration. The new substations nowadays, we have the IEDs, the Intelligent Electronic Devices installed already, no? And with the digital communications, we also have the PLC, logic controllers for direct I/Os, and conventional, no more conventional RTUs. Siguro makabisit mo mga substation, try to ask kung sa ilang mga nakaba sila yung mga existing conventional RTUs for IEDs na batanan nila. In GCP is nagkuha na sila na convert na sila no, sa ilang mga substations from mechanical relays into intelligent electronic devices relays na ilang gamit. And then the communication systems, most of for substation optimization purposes, nagamit is optical fibers, and redundancy lang ng mga RF networks, wire lines, or power line carriers. This is example of the functional diagram for the substation automation systems. The system and at the center is the substation itself, no? And the SCADA system will have the station, and the data warehouse will in charge of the data management. Okay, so most of the substation ng topics mong this is a convergence na sa kaning electrical engineering discussions of and information technology, na sa communication good, dagan naman niyang computer science. So I think we just have to familiarize ourselves there is related to in relation to the substation communications and SCADA discussions. This one is the conventional SCADA transport mediums, no? Like the RDs, the POTS, the telephone service. Still, pinaka-reliable yun na communications between our industry players in the energy sector is telephone service gapon. Yung GCP yan, si Palcos, close coordination using the telephones. Even sa substation to substation, they have the telephones. Cellular digital packet data, telephone lines, no, nang nakalist sa ilang lines, they can also utilize that one. Microwave radios, MAS, this one is for satellites, two-way radio, fiber optic, PLCs, SMS. These are some of the mediums or the communications that can be utilized for SCADA communications or for the automation of the substation. And since this is our very complex industry, no, the energy systems na to, we have to abide on the communication protocols that is in the industry standards. We have the ISO and IEC standards. You can look at it. I think the most common nowadays na ginagamit is kining IEC 61850. This one is the DNP3, IEC 87, IEC 618. Up to now, I think this one is the used na SCADA protocol sa ato mga distribution systems. And last part of this slide is about the automation and the cybersecurity. Since we are transitioning from to the digital automation, so the crucial challenge po sa digitalization is the cybersecurity, because substations are easily relays. Like for example, the relay setting, i-change lang na siya. Delikado na siya kung dili magkabuang ang imong relay, dili siya maka-design o taro. Could damage some properties. Ma-access man siya sa usahay, ma-access siya sa internet. Like for example, kini ato mga relays dire. Or kining sa ato ang Solax, makuha gyapon na to ang i-connect man ka sa iyang Wi-Fi. So, in cybersecurity, we must also abide. So that's why we have the communication protocols. Natay data structures na gina-maintain to have the operational data and non-operational data transmissions. Now, the cybersecurity, just to remind us as electrical practitioners, pohon since nagka-digitalize mo na ito ang substations, nagka-digitalize po na ito ang terrorism or some may mga bad intentions. Kung nagka-advance ang inyong ideas related to the substation automations, you have the counter-control, no? And that's it. That's the introduction or the conventional discussion related to our substations. Now, in the next part of our meeting for today, I decided to have a presentations. So, for example, today, ako sige na-discuss, ang uban, nakatulog. Next time, kamo na po i-discuss. On the next meeting, let's ito nang i-flip class, kamo na po yung mag-lecture. Anyway, this is the very good topics I come across sa kining Power and Energy magazine. Although this is a version 2019, this is a very good materials for discussion related to your substations. Okay, so sa section na to, pila kita ka grupo dire? Mga around 7? Itong lab na group na to, by 3 no?
By 3 sa ako.
7. These are the topics I want you to study and also prepare a report and discuss in front of your classmates. Para ma-practice po din yung public speech.
1 per session, sir. 1 per session. 1 group per session, sir.
One group, one topic.
Yes, sir. Sa
During sa one. Siguro 2 groups per meeting. During sa lab lang. Okay, this one has special topics tungkol din sa mga substations. Like for example, the first one is the smart and green substations. These are the Korean substations practices. Korean siya. Ang synchronous condenser applications. These are some of the trend